He spends most of his time building new Iron Man suits at his mansion and has somehow managed to get himself in trouble with this mysterious menace known as the Mandarin. I'd like to think he knows what he's doing, but, well, he's Tony.
You see that lovely Malibu penthouse? Well, that's where I live with Tony Stark. Normally, it has a beautiful vista of the Pacific, but today, it has a fleet of gunships hired by the Mandarin to redecorate our lounge. He's the same villain that's been creating all kinds of chaos around town, even putting our friend Happy in the hospital. Guess he's not so happy now. Definitely not Tony's best decision giving our home address to a bunch of lava-blooded villains. On a positive note, at least his new Iron Man suit fits me snugly.
Get her, I'm gonna find a way around.
Tony! You're okay, right? We need to get you out of here right now. See, this is why I don't like it when you bring your work home with you. Tony, how is that gonna help us? Oh, it's a robot. I probably should have guessed. Can you control it from your side? Hold on. I'm gonna get you out of here. That was weird, but surprisingly comfortable. Watch out for those helicopters, Tony!
sent to the Mandarin.
Is that thing? All right, I get it. Let's just hope it works. More of these guys? Hope you've still got some tricks up that iron sleeve of yours, Tony.
For a second, we thought it was over, but a final missile slipped past. I watched in horror as the entire condo sunk into the abyss. Thankfully, Jarvis had managed to help Tony escape a watery end, but the suit had shorted out, leaving him stranded in Tennessee. Further adding to his troubles, the hot-headed villains happened to be visiting the area, and Tony's only ally was Harley, a local boy with a pretty mean potato gun. The pair were left with no choice but to take on the Flameheads together. Tony really should start keeping the rest of the Avengers on speed dial.
Whoa, that was so cool! I mean, you know, in a bad way. Shouldn't be too much of a problem. There are transformers around here that'll shut the power off. I accidentally did that. Twice. I wonder what this does. Alright, that's one of them taken care of. Now to find the other one. Pow! Fastest potato gunslinger in the West!
Don't worry about it, I'll fix it.
Hey, look! There's a transformer up here. Let's smash it and go.
Just catch my breath for a second.
Oh man, she looks angry. Like, really angry. How is she even glowing like that?
Hot wings, you want to party? Come on, you and me, let's go.
You got a plan for this, right? It kind of feels like we're a little outmatched right now.
You'll see.
After some creative use of a microwave, Tony defeated the remaining Extremis-fueled agents and headed off to take down the Mandarin. Then, things got complicated very quickly. The Mandarin turned out to be a washed-up British actor called Trevor, and the real villain was actually someone familiar. Not an ex-neighbor, but a nerd-turned-superhuman called Aldrich Killian. I've got to admit, he was looking much more suave these days. Killian only went and took me hostage, exposing me to Extremis. He also kidnapped the president, too, and planned to serve him up like a roast turkey. Tony turned up to save the day, this time with Iron Patriot by his side, and his entire back catalog of Iron Man suits. The 10-year-old with the potato gun would have come too, but he had to tidy his room.
Okay, what do we got here? You wanted the Mandarin, Tony? Well, here I am. I am the Mandarin. You can't win! You know that, don't you? Delaying the inevitable, Tony. Perhaps this will teach you to be nicer to people you randomly meet at parties.
I'm not afraid of you. I know you're a coward.
Take a minute. You see? That suit was just like you! A failure!
Jarvis, do me a favor and blow Mark 42.
No!
Even after being cooked in an Iron Man suit, Killian was still up for another round. Luckily for Tony, I was in no mood for any more nonsense. Combining my terrifically toasty powers and an Iron Man repulsor, I flame-grilled the big geek. With that maniac out of the way, Tony celebrated by blowing up all his suits, promising to spend the holidays with me rather than with a screwdriver and an arc reactor. With the president now safe and sound, Tony promised to use his super genius to find a cure for the extremis enhancements. Straight after we'd had a festive dinner. Oh, and after he'd had his shrapnel removed. Oh, and don't forget, he is Iron Man.
sorry to interrupt your little trip across the city, but the police are on their way to a crime in progress near you. Maybe you can beat them to it.
This is Agent Sharon Carter of S.H.I.E.L.D., Special Service. Well, not anymore, but I'm kind of getting ahead of myself. Let's start at the beginning. Captain Steve Rogers' morning exercise was interrupted by a mission to rescue hostages on one of S.H.I.E.L.D.'s mobile satellite launch ships. The crew had been captured by the extremely dangerous Georges Batroc, and it was up to Captain America to bring them home safe and sound. Unfortunately for Cap, his splashy entrance meant he'd literally miss the boat. He would need help from the all-around nice guy Brock Rumlow, along with his strike team, to ensure the rest of the mission would be nothing but smooth sailing.
Hold on, Cap. I'll find a way to get you up here.
I feel like I'm gonna sink right to the floor.
Thanks. Cap, intel says Batroc's on the bridge at the rear of the ship. We need to get to him.
Access granted.
Don't worry, Cap. We can pick them back up. bay. We need to find a way across.
Duty calls.
Surprised they haven't raised a pirate flag yet. I've always had a soft spot for a skull and crossbones.
Wow. Things aren't so bad. Come on, guys. We're all on the same team here.
We got him, Cap! Let's show what happens to guys who mess with S.H.I.E.L.D.!
Access granted.
Captain America had defeated Batroc and rescued the hostages, but was surprised to discover Black Widow going against orders by retrieving data from the ship's computer. Rogers demanded an explanation from Director Fury and was told about Project Insight, a plan to supposedly protect the world by connecting 3 helicarriers together. Disliking the idea because it would mean living in a world controlled by fear, Cap soon found himself on the run with Black Widow and his new friend, the Falcon. Together, they learned that high-ranking World Security Council member Alexander Pierce had turned his back on Fury and was going to use Project Insight to allow Hydra to rule the world. Oh, and then they ran into the Winter Soldier. continued, the identity of the Winter Soldier was dramatically revealed. It was Steve's oldest friend, James Buchanan Barnes. As a result of Arnim Zola's experiments, Bucky had survived his fall from the train and had been brainwashed to serve Hydra. After escaping from Brock Rumlow's strike team, Cap and his friends reunited with Maria Hill and Nick Fury to come up with a plan to stop Project Insight. Their only hope was to reprogram the helicarriers so they would destroy each other, ending Hydra's evil schemes. After many grueling battles, Cap and the Falcon approached the final helicarrier console, but found the Winter Soldier standing in their way.
Please don't make me do this.
You're not my friend. You're my mission. calling me Bucky!
Your name?
James, Buchanan, Barnes. You know me. You know me your whole life. Wait, you know.
Soldier concluded their epic battle when Cap decided he didn't want to hurt his friend and refused to fight back. Project Insight was stopped when the helicarriers were brought down, but in the process, the entire S.H.I.E.L.D. organization was also completely destroyed. Sure didn't see that one coming. Oh, but it's okay. I got a new job. I knew you were worried about me. Captain America and the Falcon fell from the helicarrier into the water, but were saved by Bucky. Maybe there's hope for him after all? You're probably wondering how I know all this. Well, let's just say I live next to Steve, and I'm kind of a nosy neighbor. Do you want me to write this down?
Any chance you could grab some shawarma while you're out? Maybe some mac and cheese or falafel or... Hold up. Criminal activity detected nearby. I guess dinner can wait.